it's Lee from Magnetic North Magnet Fishing here. It's a very early start, and when I came out I had to have the head torch on a history walk, and I've come into a place called Stoney, Middleton in Derbyshire, and I'm going to take you on a history walk first. I'll show you what's around as soon as it's properly light. I will also attempt to do the 7 at 7 in 7 challenge in this area. I just need to find somewhere to actually magnet fish. There are very small brooks and streams. I'm not sure what else there is. Just behind me there's a path that leads to an area called Black Harry Lane, and takes its name from a notorious highwayman of the late 18th century here in Britain, and he was a merciless robber who would prey upon travellers and merchants who often transported goods within this area, holding them up at gunpoint for their valuables and goods made across the tracks and trails across the moors. Justice was to prevail when the Castleton Bow Street runners finally brought the highwaymen to justice. The runners provided a similar service in the Peak District as the original Bow Street runners did in London, being the first professional police force. After his trial in Derby, he was transported back to pay the ultimate price for his deeds, and he was hanged on the gallows tree at Wardle Myers. His remains were displayed in a gibbet, a metal cage suspended from the ground as warnings to others. So just behind me there's Dalton Quarry, and it was bombed in 1941 by two Junkers 88A4 type bombers that came over the area, and they struck the tarmac plant in the quarry and basically caused one of the walls to come down, and it damaged a tool shed, but no other harm was done. Where I am in Stoney Middleton, it's very famous for mining. So people have mined lead in the Peak District for thousands of years, including the Romans, as evidenced by the discovery of several Roman ingots made of lead found within the area. There were numerous mines in the area Stoney Middleton Dale, many of which made the use of existing caves. As mines were dug deeper, flooding became a problem. One solution was to drive a slough or drainage tunnel out to the nearest valley, and many of these were dug over the next century. Calver Slough, for example, was one of them. The brook in the dale running at the side of me starts from Watergate Slough below Furnace Quarry, and that was also mined for limestone and lead. The lead veins mostly took form of rakes of vertical vein, often several feet or several yards across. In this area I'm going to show you some of the evidence of those lead mines. So, not going there today, but just down the road, down there, Eam Village, and that's a very famous area in Derbyshire. It's where they held out during the plague in 1666, and there are graves down there. There's a place called Monpossum's Well, there's caves, there's mines, so that's going to be a walk for another day. So hidden in the hillside we've got this feature. Not many know about it, so I'll just show you what's down here. It's all arched. So just here on the walls we've got stalactite calcites and all this calcite forming. You can't really see much in here. This is basically all brick. You've got this flue here, and at the back you've got the evidence of lime kiln burning. So that's exactly what this is. This would have been a lime kiln. Just out there's the entrance there would have been lime mortar made so that people could actually use that in buildings and on stonework dressing. And this dates from the 1820s. So this here is the soughs, and this is a man-made ditch that carries water down the valley all the way down through the village down there and to an old mill, steeped in character and individual charm. So here we've got a path that goes up the side, and there is an old quarry from the 1700s, and at the back up there is a load of natural rock where there's caves, there's lead mines, there's various other mining, and all down here is all quarries, things like that. And they go from the 1500s in this area to about 1900. And just here in the centre of the shot there's a mound, and that's all quarry spoil from this particular quarry at the back. Now if you look at how low the road is down there and following it up, and then how steep and slippery these little pathways are, we have had a bit of rain, but in winter, especially as it is now, these could be frozen and miners would still have to work in all conditions, slippery, slidey, muddy, wet or dry, to do the jobs. So I'll get over the top here and I'll show you another area. So having climbed up the valley, part of it, you can see how steep it is, and you've got all these tree roots as hazards along the way, and down there is actually an old dump from the Victorian times, just down there. But what I wanted to show you, so you can see the distance of the road. I'm about halfway up the hill slope, and just down here you've got one of the old quarries, and to show what they were mining, you've got this limestone, but what you've actually got just at the slope's top is this feature here. Bearing in mind that's all natural rock at the back, this is a very early mine, and this dates anything from the Roman period right the way through to about 1800. Now the mine itself, as you can see, is very, very narrow and tight to get into. This particular bit here is very small, and this has all been hand chiselled out, and basically this could be part of one of the natural cave systems that led into a mine, and that's how it was discovered. But if I just sit down, you can see there's a level that goes through from this other side here, so that would go all the way through. Very tight squeeze, and this is the bit that the children would have used to bring minerals out or tools into the working area. And as you can see, it's constantly dripping with water, and that's limestone calcite. It's quite a hard mineral to chip through, but this has been chipped through all the way through to the other side, which is 300 or 400 meters in length. We don't know how long it took, but there is a quarry on the other side of the valley, and there was mining minerals out there of lead, and there was mining bits of limestone varieties, calcite. So I made it to the top of the valley, and this is what we're greeted with. Thousands of tons of rock up there, and now on the area I'm standing, I am roughly 20 to 25 meters in above where the mine is underneath, and all this, including all that above you, would have been worked, and amongst that they'd have been going for lead, which I've not seen any yet, but if I see any I will show you what it looked like. And this is the top path, the miner's path, and it has been known that within this area there's definitely paranormal activity recorded. And just up the side here we've got one of the original caves. Now at the top there you've got a little feature at the top, and in the prehistoric times, if you needed to escape from animals, you'd climb down from the very top turret into there, and then you'd stay there until it was safe, and you'd use this area as a mine. So let's just have a quick look at this feature. I shall not be going in because I've never been in these before. Very slippery all the way up, and basically you've got this worn down rock that they've cut the steps going all the way up and into the cave. As I say, I shall not be going in there today because you would need somebody with you that's a guide that knows what they're doing in that particular area. It is not advisable to go in such places alone, and always make sure that you've got a guide, an experienced person with you when you go in such places, because there are very small tight spaces in such places. There is the risk of landslides and landfalls, and a place like that could easily become somebody's tomb, as it had in the past. And it's known that certainly in this area there was a lot of people that was unfortunately killed during the mining operations. So as we come down the path, that is the area down there that I've just showed you with the other mine, the in the rock mine. And as it comes around here, you've got this feature, this big turret all the way up there of natural limestone. Just down here we've got some old stone, and it has got shell fossils in, just there. And this has been refilled in, like this section. But just down here, vertical with the actual cliff, you've got a very, very, very deep cave system going down there. It is not advisable to enter these places at all. And then here, there's another one. So just under my feet is a tunnel that goes down, and there is an entrance to a mine down there. And that one again, that could date back as far as the Roman times, 1800 years old. Now I do actually have a sample of lead from this particular area, so I will show you that later on in the video. So on this area again, this is the natural cliff face and the rocks, and from that mine over there, the adit comes through all under these rocks here, and there is another entrance. So this is the part where they'd have originally started, and they'd have worked all under that rock, all under there, and in under that cliff face. So much hard work gone into that. And just looking here, I've just seen, just here, there's a shell fossil. Of course, the ancient people and the people mining in this area didn't understand what fossils were, and so they just kept going. They mined all the way through it to look for the minerals that they was asked to look for. And these miners in this particular area would be working 12 to 13 hours a day, and in the later periods during the 1700s and 1800s, you would only receive a maximum of 3 to 4 pence per day, regardless how much work was done. And I've just found another fossil there, which is a bit of a coral. So this particular area, we've got silver looking colour here, and that is a piece of lead. So that is natural galena. That's what they was here for. And then on this bit we've got some more workings down here, and we've got this shelf area. It's here, and that goes up a vertical all the way up there, cliff face. Now this does look like it has actually had evidence of people chipping it and climbing for mineral testing all the way up there. It's quite remarkable really how that would have been achieved. And this particular platform here, they have actually found samples of lead in here. And if you look here, all these strands, that's coral reef all there. So that's what these limestone rocks are made from. They're all bits of marine animal from millions and millions of years ago. And there, that round circle, that's where a fossil would have been. But you can see again, they've got lead all over these rocks, all here. And this is the exact mineral that they were looking for. And just here I've just seen some old graffiti. I can't read what it says, it's too far gone, but just here there is evidence here of pick marks. So yes, they have been extracting from this particular section. And this is just natural. So all this that you see here, all that silver colour, that's all galena, and this is the thing that made the miners work here. You have got just here the odd little purple fluorite crystal as well. Look how beautiful that is, just here. So not many people actually come up here, and not many people get to see this, so it's quite a nice feature. So I'll take you down this way past the old mines and that, and up here just in the side of the cliff we've got another mine going all the way in, and just to the side here these lines on the rock are blast marks, just here, and you can see there where it's been drilled for dynamite to be put in. So those would be from the 1800s, and they're literally just blasting this rock face to find more veins of lead. And another area here, just behind there, there's another working that went in, and some very early mining up there, where miners would work up this little ravine, and then they'd get up onto the top where that tree root now is, and they'd be mining lead out of there as well. I've just got to an area here, and as you can see there is rock cut steps, but just up there we've got an actual cave right in the cliff face up there, look. Now there has been prehistoric stuff found in the area, and Roman up there, and then just to the right we've got another working just there, and these are very, very early. Let's say nobody knows the exact date, but they could be back to the Roman times, and as early as 70 AD. There are more that way, but it is getting quite slippery, so I'm going to make my way back down and into the village. So just on the pathway found this, and it's varieties, orange varieties, and that silver colour, that is natural galena from this area. The cascades of a waterfall. So, geology of the area. Stoney Middleton Dale is a limestone deep gorge once covered by a warm shallow sea. The limestone was formed millions of years ago from tiny sea creatures whose remains fell to the seafloor, and millions of years their shells and calcium rich skeletons accumulated to become thousands of feet thick. Later volcanic activity allowed dissolved minerals to circulate through joints in the limestone, eventually crystallising, forming veins of galena lead ore. Fluorspar, varieties and calcite. Millions of years the movement in landmass formed the rock upward forming peaks, while several periods of glacial activity created fast flowing water melt, carving out the valleys that we see today. So up there, all up there, that's Castle Rock, and it's a double buttress in the cliff, and around it towards the top is Windy Ledge, where there's a network of caves. The ledge is formed through natural erosion, the layers of limestone being less resistant and therefore weathering away at a quicker rate than the lower levels down here. And here we've got some information about a lead smelt So that goes back as early as 1574 and operated from the 1740s to 1885. So I'll just let you read that. And then over here we've got some information about the caves and caverns. Popular caves in the area include the extensive Coleswalk Cavern, Streaks Pot and Lay-by Pot, all offering some very good through trips. Fingal's Cave is a narrow vertical entrance seen in the cliff of an old mine. Now there are areas that you can actually get information on visiting these through Derbyshire caving societies, and there's some information about the old paint mill of the 18th century. This is the area of the start of the trail, but as you can see there's rocks here, and those rocks have all come from up at top there. So there is the occasional rockfall and landslide, so you do have to be careful in such areas. Look out and monitor for that. And I've just found here and here, so there is a bit of a fossil, and just here it's a piece of coral limestone. Just up there, that ledge, that's the ledge that I was just referring to, and there are caves and things in there as well. And just here, this is a popular climbing route up there to the cave and all the way up to the top. And you can see in the wall there are supports put in for the climbing. Yeah, I don't think I fancy climbing all that, not for me. So just up here, as you can see, that's a very steep path up the side of a cliff face, and that does go over to more mining areas, but the weather, as you can see, is very cloudy, it is raining, and I don't want to go that way. So I'm going to go back down this way, across the road and back into the village. So there's the Lover's Leap, and it's all fenced off there, and a garage just below it. So looking at the continuation of the soughs, that is not magnet fishable at the moment. So it's said here on the local history board that on here we have got people settling from as early as 4000 BC, probably drawn here by the thermal waters which flow through the village. Industrially, it was the discovery of lead, a rare and important mineral contained within limestone, the stone that would continue through the ages to provide vital minerals to the world. So you wouldn't think about it, but this area has been known for thermal waters. And this is the beck. Goes past some old houses and that down there and towards a mill. And then up in the cliff, just up there, there's another cave. Just there. And here we have some information about Lover's Leap. So these cottages, 1762. So these would have been for the original quarry workers and miners of the area. You've got some big old houses there, and the beck slough runs underneath all this, and it comes out of a culvert just down here again. So normally that's very, very shallow, and there is bits of pottery and things in there. And just there we've got a very old Victorian horse-drawn plough, and a bit of a waterfall on a weir. So that's the old toll house, and it's a fish and chip bar now, and it's one of the best chippies in northern Derbyshire. It's not open at the moment, but that has been there. That has been there since 1926. So, toll bar fish and chips since 1926. And just down here, so we've got a water course again, and just in the corner there, that little building, that's where they used to make shoes and boots, 1918 to 1920. And there is a plaque on there to tell you about that. Now, as we are talking about mental health awareness and public spaces, I do apologise about the traffic. This is a very busy area and junction. So, just in front of the old toll house, this is a road here, and the main road that they used to charge you to come down in the early 1800s. Now just here we've got this lovely little stream, and we've got this public space. So you've got bins in there, you've got chairs, you've got the benches over there and the litter bins. And on a nice day, that would be such a good area to come and sit and just relax and chill out and basically just think about things or have a chat to somebody. And areas like this, the hidden gem spots. At Wesleyan Reformed Chapel, and that was built in 1829 and was the very first building in the village to gain electricity in 1931. So bootmaking in Stoney, Middleton was first recorded in 1797, and by 1900 it was such a tradition that even families had expanded into using simple machinery to make footwear. Now, the Stoney Middleton factories only produced men's heavy duty boots, including army boots, during the First World War. Pre-World War I workers earned £1 for a 63-hour week, half the national average for the trade. With just half an hour dinner break, barely time to run home and get their food and back to work. Women workers grew round-shouldered and developed poor eyesight, working in the light of candlelight, with severe breathing problems affected. These involved in the final buffing and scouring of leather and brass rivets. So men were employed for heavy cutting work carried out with sharp knife before machinery was introduced. Sole and heel pieces were stamped out by heavy machinery, which inevitably claimed at least one finger or thumb from every operator. The price of cutting a dozen pieces of leather per minute. Boys as young as 13 spent long hours inking boot edges, up to 1,000 pairs a day, for 4 shillings, 20 pence a week. hard work, but probably favourable to the other village industries such as lime burning, quarrying or mining. So yeah, it just shows villages and places grew up on very, very hard work, and yeah, you just would not imagine that sort of labour, those sort of conditions in today's environments. But very, very interesting fact. So I'm going to take you a bit further around now. I'm on an old toll road, and this dates from the 1800s. So I'll be back with you shortly. So this was the old malt house just here, and they used to brew their own local supplies there. A typical side street in Stoney, Middleton. And just here we've got an old village bridge, and a watercourse goes down and under past the church. So this is St Martin's Church, and it was built in 1415, and the local war memorial, which I'm happy to see has actually got memorial poppies on there, and there's names from the First and Second World War, people of this village paid the sacrifice. Just up there. This is the old churchyard. So it's been raining all morning, sun's starting to come out now, but I've just finished this afternoon. I will go and do the 7 at 7 in 7 challenge. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the walk and the excursions through the area. So thanks for watching. This is Lee from Magnetic North Magnet Fishing. So till the next one, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and I'll catch you again shortly. Bye for now.